What's up, everybody? It's a party. It's party time for the New York Jets fans. Let's talk about this big W we got today. So we're going to go ahead and start the video. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I just realized my headphones weren't attached because I'm so damn pumped right now, okay? Let's go. Welcome to episode 26 of Tsunami Speaks with your girl, Tsunami Jones. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend if you can. That's how we'll continue to grow this channel and keep making headway towards 500 subscribers and beyond. And enough of all that. That's not what we're here for. We're here for to talk about this game tonight. This huge game that we had. Ladies, gentlemen, our New York Jets are 6-3. 6-3 going into the bye. We beat the best team in the AFC, arguably the best team in the NFL, depending on who you're talking to. Sorry, Philly fans. I know how y'all feel. I'm just hyped. Don't worry about what I got going on. Josh Allen has been destroying cats week after week this season. The Bills beat the absolute crap out of the Rams, the Titans, Pittsburgh, beat the Chiefs, who won the AFC divisional game against them last year. The Jets just lost last week to the woe-begotten New England Patriots, okay? We lost to them. All hope was lost. The NFL declared Zach Wilson was the worst quarterback in the NFL. Garbage. Can't win with that guy. He's a scrub from BYU. All that stuff. Those were the narratives we were hearing. Jets can't win with him. Jets might even end up having the worst record in the AFC East because all those teams are better. Miami's better. Buffalo's better. New England's better. But what happened today? And then something did happen. The New York Jets at home played against the Buffalo Bills and came out with a dub. We won. We won this game. All those narratives I just went through. And an additional one here. And every NFL Network analyst said we'd get dog walked. No one said we'd win that game. Now, Daniel Jeremiah doesn't count because he's always saying he's trying to reverse jinx and help us out. So he's absolved of all vigor and anger that I may have towards these cats that keep saying the Jets are trash. But we're not that much of trash, clearly, because what are we doing? We keep getting dubs. We keep getting dubs. What's the excuse now, y'all? Who's the backup quarterback that we beat this time? Did you see Skylar Thompson out there? I didn't see him. Did you see Trubisky out there? Did you see Kenny Pickett out there? What other garbage W's have we gotten this season that you guys could think of that they had narratives for? Well, I'll wait. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because we beat Buffalo, okay? I can't wait to hear what the excuses are this time. They had their best players on offense. They still had Von Miller, and we came in there and we got a dub. Period. Anyway, it's a party. The Jets got a dub. Let's move on. I'm going to talk about this actual win here where we upset the Buffalo Bills. What a great team win. My favorite play in this game, and there were a lot of awesome plays here to choose from, but mine was Sauce's interception. You have to go there. 2 plays before that interception, Zach had a strip sack from Von Miller. Snuck up behind him, got him. Got Zach. All hope was gone. I was nervous. I know other Jets fans were nervous and were like, here we go again. This is how it starts. The Bills can't possibly keep this game so close And in the very next play that happens, we get a huge sack from Quinnen Williams. Beautiful sack. Pow! Right on Josh Allen. I knew that guy could stand up against him. Boom, on first down. And then right after that, I believe it was second and 17. Sauce baited Josh Allen into throwing that interception. It was a game changer. I won't accept anything else. That's exactly what it was. It flipped the entire game on its head. Right after that interception, the Jets went down there and scored a touchdown with Michael Carter. You can't tell me if that doesn't happen, it's not the same outcome. I'm not saying the Jets I'm not saying the Jets definitely lose the game, but it's different. It's a very different game at that point. It set the team on fire. There's nothing like an interception from Sauce Gardner, okay? Nothing like that. Wow. 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 I'm still hyped. There's other plays I can get into, but I just wanted to start there. Woo, and keep on going. We'll go and revisit the keys to the dub real quick. Well, we're going to try to. See if I can bring these in here. My bad, y'all, with the... There we go. Keys to the dub. Keys to the dub. First one I mentioned in the last show was we needed to limit turnovers. Did we do that? I would say we did. We only had one turnover in this game, and that was the strip sack that I mentioned that Von Miller got off of Zach. He got him pretty good there. Nice play by Von Miller, but nothing else. No interceptions from Zach Wilson, like people were saying we were going to have like 4 of them in this damn game because of the Bills' defense. Good job, Zach. Great job taking care of the football. There was one scary play that I will just mention where Garrett Wilson looked like he was going to try and throw a pass there, and we did the trick play. Woo, I was nervous, man. And then he fumbled the ball, and he caught his own fumble. That's beautiful. I'm glad he did that and recovered the ball there, but that was scary. So that could have been a turnover. It didn't happen, so we'll move on. My next key that I had was for us to manage penalties. Credit to the Jets here. We did a great job of not being over aggressive and getting penalized for a bunch of dumb stuff. We only had 3 penalties, 30 yards total. I'm proud of them, y'all. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough because this has been worrying me and stressing me out. Last week we had I believe we had less. I know we had less that week. I know it's like 50 yards, I believe. Don't hold me to that. In the game against the Patriots. So it looks like that is something that we are building on and working on. On the other side, there were a few calls. I can name at least 2. And when I rewatched, I saw another one where the Bills got lucky. They didn't get penalized more because there was some dumb stuff. Zach got hit on a helmet to helmet. And then there was also another unnecessary roughness, just like the JFM call last week that robbed us of a pick 6. So clearly we're just going to call those against other teams, and we're not going to call them when the Jets are out there. I guess that's what the game plan is. That's fine, though, because what did we get? We got the W. So I ain't even worried about it, but I'm going to just bring that up. I'm glad the Jets' composure and aggressiveness on defense has gotten better. The offensive line had some penalties in the last few weeks, and we cleaned that up. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm glad we got that fixed. Let's see. Next key that I had was we needed to pass to set up the run. We actually didn't really do that because we didn't need to do that. I was wrong in assuming that had to happen. From what I could see here, I'll just go over what we had stat-wise. I mean, we actually ran the ball 34 times. Didn't think we would actually get the opportunity to do so or be this successful, but we were. We ran it 34 times for 174 yards. We played smash mouth football. This is our brand of football. That's what we do, ground and pound. I know Rex Ryan was watching this game and smiling. You know he was. This is his brand of football, and we brought that. It was a thing of beauty. And then the creativity we had on offense, I got to give credit to Mike LaFleur because I was worried about that. Our offensive coordinator did not get cute today. Nah, he did some great stuff. I know that Garrett Wilson, trick play didn't necessarily work out, but that was kind of Garrett Wilson's fault because the trick worked. There was another one where we actually drew an encroachment foul. I think Braxton Berrios. I think we were gonna do some sort of. I think Braxton Berrios was gonna catch it, but anyway, it got blown up pretty early because we caught their defense off balance, which is what we're looking for, what we want to see, um, with the creativity. So big kudos to LaFleur. We did a great job there. My next key was that we needed to create turnovers. Did we do it? Hell yeah, we did. 2 turnovers. Beautiful. Beautiful. Sauce picked one off. I already talked about it, so I'll have to even go on and on about that one. And then Jordan Whitehead picked one off. I think he had the first one, and that was like in the first. I think it was an opening drive when that happened. Beautiful. And to be honest, he should have had a second one. I'm not gonna be really angry about it in particular, but he did have it in his hands. So I mean, I can't believe if that one actually would have connected and Jordan Whitehead catches that's game over there. Secondarily, what would the media have had to say after that? Josh Allen would have had 3 interceptions and a fumble. Well, not a fumble loss, but he still would have had 3 interceptions, just like Zach had last week against the Patriots. Would they have dropped him all the way to the bottom? No, and not that they should have. Zach Wilson's not Josh Allen, but y'all get the damn point. Quarterbacks have bad games sometimes when a good defense plays against them. Just saying, right? Wow. Anyway, so just great job on the defense by creating those turnovers. Again, almost could have had 3, but I will take those 2 all day, every day. Let's go. Next key that I had was the defense needed to get to the quarterback. Did they do it? Hell yes, they did. Hell yes, they did. 5 of them joints. 5 of them. And from what I understood, their offensive line was healthier than ours was. So I don't know why that happened. To be honest, like we got 5. I mean, beautiful, just beautiful. Let me go ahead and shout out my guys for these sacks. Jermaine Johnson had a huge sack. Boom, he did that. Bryce Huff had a huge sack. He caused the fumble. If if the Jets had recovered it, that's another one that would have been game over. Big credit to Bryce Huff there. CJ Mosley had a sack. My guy don't get sacks like that, but he even got banged up in this game. He showed right back up after that opening drive. And he came in and he did big things as always. Big Quinnen Williams. I talked about his sack earlier. He had one. And then Jamie and Sherwood and I believe it was Quan Alexander had a sack as well. They had half a sack each. Big credit, huge credit to the Jets doing that. Our defense brought it tonight. I'll tell you, the first drive scared me. Second drive scared me as well when they got those 14 points because Josh Allen was running all over us. I did not like what I was seeing, but we put the clamps on them boys in the second half. Did we not? I saw it. It was gorgeous, okay? I don't know who made the adjustments. I'm sure it was Ulbrich and not just Salah, but those guys were making it freaking happen. Love to see those adjustments at halftime. They only scored 3 points in the second half. This is the Buffalo Bills, guys. This doesn't really happen. We held, oh my God, our New York Jets defense. Man, beautiful. Great showing by the defense. Moving on. My next key was I said that we needed to have a great special teams performance. I wouldn't say we had a great special teams performance, but we did fairly well. That onside kick to start, that was a ballsy move, honestly, and it shocked me and made me a little uncomfortable. And then we flubbed it on top of it. It looks like from watching the game a couple of times here that Braden Mann just slipped, but starting the game off like that was nerve-wracking. But it's all right. Doesn't matter. Braden Mann did have 2 good punts that were inside the 20. Those are huge. That allows our defense to really pin its ears back, like we saw. So I think the last one was the last drive of the game. So that punt was killer by putting them back there. Again, that's where the one where Bryce Huff had that sack. So that was an example there. And then Big Z had a 50-yarder, just like I asked in the last video. I said we're gonna need one from Big Greg the Leg, and he put it in there. 53-yard kick, huge. It was the first points I believe we got. So huge play. I love what he did, as always. Berrios almost had one back. I thought we had it, but it got called back. There was a stupid penalty on Justin Hardy. He can't do that. He's better than that. I mean, that's our captain. He's a great player. I definitely love Justin Hardy. He's like one of my favorite players on special teams, but he can't allow that kind of crap to happen. He's the leader. I expect more, and I know we'll get more. Bet you he makes a big play in the next coming games after this bye week. Woo! All right. So aside from the special teams there, the last key that I had, because I didn't go super key heavy in my last video, was that our offensive line needed to hold up for Zach, which is a common key for me because Zach Wilson, as we've heard, he's better when he's better when he's not under pressure. Hopefully he grows in that, but has been a weakness for him. I would say our offensive line did a pretty good job. The offensive line gave up 2 sacks. And according to True Media, since PFF doesn't have this updated yet, we only gave up 4 pressures. So that's credit to Cedric Ogbuyi. I think I learned his name today. Ogbuyi. Our right tackle, who's been trying to fill in fairly nicely since our boy AVT is out. So good job to him. Herbig looked good. I saw him with a couple key blocks in this game. Connor McGovern is solid. Left tackle, Dwayne Brown. He had been scaring me a little bit recently. He looked like he had another good game today. I love when that guy gets out big and starts running. So when those running plays are happening, they run to the left. You see my guy, man. He's a thick dude, but I love the blocks he's able to do when he's running. It's fun to watch. So credit to him. Lakin Tomlinson, credit to him. Just solid game from our offensive linemen. And of course, with that comfort, then your quarterback's going to play a little bit better. Zach played a little bit better today. All right. So going to revisit the players I highlighted that we needed to watch and pay attention to. This is where I get some L, or at least one L here. And the first player I had listed I said Tyler Conklin. I was loud and wrong about Conklin. I don't think Conklin had a bad game, but we just didn't throw to him. I believe he was only targeted one time. I'm going to check my math, so to speak, on here and make sure I'm right, but I think it was just the one. Checking. All right, he was targeted twice, got 1. So he didn't get as many opportunities. CJ Uzama actually got more, and I mentioned that in the video. I'm like, it's either one or the other. Conklin had a great game last week, so I guess I don't know. I don't know what the plan was today. Uzama didn't go off, but he got 3 targets. He caught all 3. Uzama looked good in his play, so I'm still happy. I don't mind being wrong about the game plan if it results in a dub. So that's just me. It's just so funny that every time I expect Conklin to have a good game, he doesn't. It's just crazy. So maybe because I keep betting on him. Maybe if I don't do that, better things will happen on that aspect. The next player I had selected that I said we needed to watch and might have a big game was Sauce, and he did. He was him, as always. Him Gardner, Sauce Gardner. I love this kid, man. I love this kid. I mean, the first play of the game, Stephon Diggs got by him, embarrassed him, so to speak, right? He didn't let that get to him. Corners and quarterbacks, for that matter, have to have short memories. They have to have uber confidence and able to keep playing the game, because they're going to get burned. Bad plays are going to happen. The Sauce let that go. They said that it looks like they moved him on to Gabe Davis for the rest of the game, and I think they gave DJ Reed some over the top help on Stephon Diggs, and that seemed like the right move. Ultimately, Diggs did finish with a pretty decent game for him. I mean, nothing otherworldly, but I mean, 93 yards, 5 catches, not bad, but that was on 10 targets. So that's something else to keep in mind. I think our boys made some plays. I remember seeing one really huge play, by the way, by DJ Reed at the end of the game in that last drive, or second to last drive. It was in the 4th quarter. We had that pass breakup. Huge. But Sauce, I already talked about the interception he had. And then he had the very last pass breakup in the game as well, anyway, against Gabe Davis. Why do y'all keep challenging Sauce Gardner? I don't know why. Keep doing it, because he's going to keep burning y'all and keep making plays on the ball and keep getting key turnovers for this New York Jets team. Keep challenging my boy. I love it. Let's go. Sauce, man. Quentin Williams was one of the other players I had marked that I thought might have a big game. Statistically, it wasn't huge, but he did have a sack. The sack that I mentioned earlier, on third down. I believe he had 2 tackles to coincide with that. I'm gonna check real quick, make sure my math is right. Really fast. Yep, Quinnen, 2 tackles, 1 sack, QB hit, tackle for a loss. Probably all on that play there. Um, I would love to see what the analytics say at the end of the day. Again, PFF doesn't normally have their stuff up until tomorrow. On Mondays, I wanted to bang this video out before then because of the hype and the excitement. Woo! Victory Monday's gonna feel good. Woo! You're lucky you don't have to go into work tomorrow, because I would be in trouble. Anyway, that said, still a solid game by Quentin Williams. He looked disruptive. They always had to send 2 blockers to hold him, because one single block, you can't do that on Quentin. You just can't block him with one man. You need more people. Lastly, the New York Jets, the last player that I said we need to pay attention to is the obvious. It was Zach Wilson for obvious reasons. Yes, Zach Wilson left some plays on the field. There are at least 2 plays where if he just threw it a little bit better, he would have extended some drives. One was the throw to Mims. And I believe the other one was the throw to, not remember the other one super well right now, but specifically the Mims throw bothered me some too. And yes, Zach had a fumble, but Zach also made plays. He made plays with his legs, guys. Guys, he didn't run backwards. He ran forwards and extended some drives. This is something that we've been wanting to see from him from the, wanting to see in general from him, because he hadn't been showing that he could do that. And it was a worry for the fan base. Like, okay, we know the kid has athleticism. We know he can run. And he does a great job of it, but I'm tired of him running sideways. He finally ran forwards. Anyway, I'm glad that we got to see that. And that dime that he threw to Denzel Mims at the end, it was a bullet. Boom. Denzel had it. I mean, and the Jets, my guy wanted to probably go win the game when he tried to run that ball into the end zone at the end. Of course, there were like 4 bills, and of course there was an illegal hit that they did, helmet to helmet, that they didn't call. They need to. Ooh, they hard on my boy. They are hard on my boy, but it's all good. It's all good. He finished the game with 8. He finished the game 18 of 25. 154 passing yards, a touchdown, and 5 carries for 24 rushing yards. I was expecting a little bit more passing just because I thought that the Bills would eliminate our run game, and they did not. So I was wrong about that. But I'm happy with what I saw. This was game manager Zach. I know some people were saying prior to the last week that they were tired of seeing game manager Zach. I like game manager Zach because game manager Zach wins W's. He wins games. He beats teams. It isn't just him, but he put the ball where he needed to put it. He helped unlock Garrett Wilson, or Garrett Wilson unlocked himself. I don't care what you call it. The boy looked good today. All right, and as far as the Bills players that I spotlighted and said I was worried about, Josh Allen was one for obvious reasons. Honestly, I still came away impressed with him, at least in the first half, because his athleticism is impressive. I'll give him that. And he brings it every time. But, and I was scared in the first half watching that cat. He had 2 touchdowns just from himself. That 20-yarder, it looked like, was impressive as hell what he did there and what he's able to do passing. But the Jets defense balled out. It did. I already talked about the 5 sacks. I already talked about the 2 interceptions that we had in this game. That is impressive. We made Josh Allen look human in the second half of this game. He went from hero mode, God mode, if you will, all that stuff. He was just a mere mortal playing that damn game. Woo! I don't want to go over his stats because the Jets got a W, but I'll do the other cats. No, I'll read it. I'll read it real quick, real freaking fast. Just so y'all can see how well the Jets did against him. Josh Allen was 18 of 34. He had a worse pass completion percentage than Zach Wilson, by the way. Can we talk about that? He had a worse completion percentage than Zach Wilson. He had 205 yards, cool, but 2 picks, and he was sacked 5 times. They say that sacks are quarterback stat, excuse me. If that's the case, that's all him. I will give him the credit on the rushing on the ground though. I already said it earlier. I mean, my God. 9 carries for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him that. But the passing stuff though, because when Zach gets the rushing stuff, they don't want to count it. So I have to bring that up. Let me highlight this comment. Daryl, funny, said they just gonna wind up getting Sauce's picks gangrene for life. Let's go. Keep challenging my boy Sauce Gardner. Keep challenging him. I keep getting these. Yo, get out the chat. Get out of there. Gotta block people every show now. What the hell? Anyway, but let's go, Daryl. Did you see what Sauce did? I'm sure you did. You wouldn't have said it otherwise. Sauce was a baller today. He's a baller every day, but it was on some extra stuff today. Sauce brought the sauce at home. Let's go. The Jets won at home, y'all. We couldn't win at home at first because we were the road warriors. They said that's all we could do because we couldn't show up at home due to the fans or whatever the hell. Just so proud of us, man. I'm so proud. Moving on. The other bill that I was worried about was Dawson Knox. Man, they made me look like a liar. Dawson Knox. The interception that he got to Jordan Whitehead, or the interception that Jordan Whitehead caught was when he was throwing to Dawson Knox. I don't know if that scared him off a little bit. He still threw to him, but he didn't throw to him much. He only threw to him 3 times. 3 catches for 25 yards. And so I'm going to make this adjustment going forward. I'm not going to necessarily say that the opposing team tight end is going to be a player that beats us because it's not happening anymore. The Jets are doing a good job. I'm glad we have a healthy Jordan Whitehead. Whitehead is a lot better than people were giving credit for. I talked about him in other videos. He got burned a few times early in this season, but you see what my guy's doing now? Do you see him? Let's go, Jordan Whitehead. If he would have had this pick, what is he at? Is he at 3 now? 3 for the year? I need to see who leads the team in picks. Let me check real quick if y'all don't mind me taking a quick pit stop to see what the Jets have going on. Just real quick. I don't think y'all will mind. See if ESPN updated it that fast. Probably not, though. Oh, I don't see it. Oh, I got it. I got it. Interceptions. Who leads the team? It's LaMarcus Joyner. Good for him. Michael Carter II has 2. DJ Reed has 1. Sauce has 1. Jordan Whitehead has 1. That doesn't seem accurate. I don't know if that includes today's game, y'all. Because I remember the Jordan Whitehead interception he had before. I think he has 2. I think he has 2. Oh, it says games played 9. Maybe I'm tripping. Either way, Whitehead has played very well. So yeah, Dawson Knox was just not the cat that they really wanted to utilize a lot in this game. They didn't utilize Isaiah McKenzie either. I thought he might hurt us a bit. That was like my honorable mention. Not much. They utilized their running backs a lot more. I saw Josh Allen throw to Singletary quite a few times. I see it here. He threw to him 4 times, targeted him 5 times. They threw to James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother. He plays for this team. In case y'all know, y'all already know that, but they threw to him 4 times. He only caught 2 of them. So just they opted to use their running backs more than they wanted to utilize the tight ends or the slot receiver, McKenzie. The last player I had for the Bills that I was worried about going into this game was Von Miller. I won't say that he was docile necessarily against us. He had that huge sack that I mentioned, the sack fumble that he caused on Zach. That's really the only play that he really made noise, except for maybe, hold on, let me see if my memory serves on this. right. 'Cause there was one other tackle that he had. I was wondering, I'm trying to remember if he's the one that hit James Robinson when James Robinson got crushed in the fourth quarter. We ended up still kicking and getting 20. I was really hoping we was going to score a touchdown on that drive, but I think James Robinson got crushed like first down and maybe even second down. I think Von Miller got one of those, if my memory serves. But anyway, other than those two plays, which are still two great plays, he really didn't kill us. Again, this is an offensive line that's patchwork. Okay. It's a patchwork quilt of an offensive line. And hey, he didn't destroy us. I love it. I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm proud. We did a great job blocking. So again, I'm gonna still give that credit to Cedric Abui. I'm gonna give that credit to Dwayne Brown. I'm gonna give that credit to Laken Tomlinson because I know they move Von Miller around some. So great job, Jets offensive line. Who thought we'd be saying that? Did you think we'd be saying that? I did not. Okay. All right. Game ball. Game ball. This is a real tough one for me because so many players played so well. But y'all know where I'm going with this. Y'all know. Sauce gets the game ball, baby. He has to. That interception, it changed the effing game. It did. And then and then of course to end the game, like I said, that pass breakup that he had on Gabe Davis at the very end, the very last play of the game, our boy was clutch. There's just something about a player like Sauce Gardner. He's an entertainer. He's a killer. I, I know, and you know he's talking smack as he's doing it. I can't imagine like him breaking that pass up against Gabe Davis and probably saying like the dirtiest stuff to him after that. I love that. I effing love that. But the dude is a closer. The Jets have a closer on defense. I know at one point we were saying Quentin Williams wasn't looking like that. I think we got two of them now. But but our definite closer is Sauce Gardner. DJ Reed always makes these huge plays, but it's just different when it comes from Sauce. Let's go. Woo, he rises to every occasion. That's my guy. Moving off that though, I do have some unsung heroes that I want to highlight as well. My bad, I forgot to put up the graphic when I mentioned the game ball and the unsung heroes. So my unsung heroes, I definitely want to highlight and just talk about these cats. Michael Carter was really good in this game. He was great in this game. I even thought about going with him, and then of course I have the game on in the background here, and I just see Michael Carter just running. He gets so many yards after contact as a running back that always impressed me. He does not go down with the first hit. It's going to take more than one cat to bring him down. You will not arm tackle down Michael Carter. He makes plays. He looked fantastic today. He was so good. And by the way, I want to pause on this. He's not one of my unsung heroes, but I want to give him credit. James Robinson, we didn't think he was going to play. He came on the damn on the injury report with a knee. I thought he was out. I even said on a show that I joined, it's called the Jet Show. I'll try and link that in my description later, but I joined them with Italy Jet and Show. Great show. It was fun to be on there last night. But anyway, on that show, I was worried. I was saying to them like, hey, if James Robinson's joining the injury report this late, there's no way he's playing. I'm over here thinking about Bam Knight playing and all that. Bam Knight didn't get a snap because James Robinson played, and he had some very key runs at the end of the game too. In the fourth quarter, he had, I think it was back to back huge runs. I think it was like 7-yard run, 6-yard run, another like longer runs. And we're getting first downs. They were just so key. It looks like we tired out the Bills defense and they couldn't take our run game. It was over. Zach didn't have to throw on that drive because, well, he did at the end, but he didn't have to throw much because they couldn't take our run game. So, and there were cats that were already throwing in the effing towel. And I like Leger Duzable. That's my guy. I'm a big fan of him. But he was already saying, "Well, Jacksonville got one over on us for that pick." For the trade that we made for James Robinson. Well, James Robinson heard him talking smack, and he came through at the end of this game. I want to give him his credit. Great job, James Robinson. But again, Michael Carter brought it. Man, I love watching that kid. He's also kind of clutch too, because I remember in the which game was that? The Steelers game. We played against them. We had that come from behind drive in that last game. I'm sorry, in that Steelers game. He had some really huge runs and he was getting out of bounds when he needed to, because remember he had to eat up just the right amount of clock. I also want to mention the clock management in this game as well. It was on par. It was not on par. It was above par. Like, we are so much better at managing the game now from the head coach perspective. So that we got to give credit to Rob Sala. I know they have a clock management specialist specifically, and he does a great job of helping us manage the game. Like, we just did it just so. We made it where the Bills did not have plenty of time. They did not have a lot of time at the end of the game. And they had their timeouts too. So it was just great. Anyway, my last unsung hero I want to go over, even though I can, hell, I got two more. Next one I'm going to just do is Bryce Huff, because again, that sack he had at the end was clutch. It was key. You think about, why did we make that trade? Why did we trade Jacob Martin away, right? It's because of him. And it's because of Jermaine Johnson. Those kids needed more snaps. And they had Jacob Martin. They paid him this year and everything. And I felt they felt somewhat obligated to give him snaps they didn't necessarily deserve. Not saying Jacob Martin wasn't good, but he wasn't as good as Bryce Huff. Every time Bryce Huff is out there, and again, he's getting limited snaps, he's making an impact. He is. This is not the first time he's had a huge sack at the end of the game. So I'm glad we got to see it. I love that sack. I mean, he caused the fumble. If the Jets would have recovered that, that would have been the end of the game there too. But it's all right. Like I said, we got to see Sauce have that awesome pass breakup at the end. So beautiful stuff there. But I want to give him credit for that. And lastly, I have to give my boy, he ain't a game ball, but I want to sing his praises, is my boy, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, dog. Garrett Wilson was the offense for a little while. Did you see my guy? Did you see him? Again, the fumble aside. Again, because he recovered it, so it almost doesn't matter. But did you see my guy? He was running all over the field. God, that kid is so fun to watch. And now it's even more exciting because Wilson has a connection. Zach, that is. Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson have a connection now, guys. We're going to get to see these kids grow. And if they continue to grow like that, we're going to see bigger games from Garrett Wilson. So, oh man, I mean, and let me go over his stats too. It's not fair for me to mention it and not tell you guys where he finished with. He had 8 catches off 9 targets for 92 yards. And I think the ninth target, or well, maybe not the ninth target, but the target that's not allocated, the one he didn't catch, when he was right there in the red zone and he was just slightly out of bounds. Did y'all see that catch he had though? Even though they ruled it out of bounds, one hand. Garrett Wilson, man, he's just so fun. He reminds me a little bit. There's a few different comps that I've seen and I kind of agree with, but I think Odell Beckham, I've seen that a lot. It's such a great comp because they have the same amount of athleticism. His hands, I say Odell's hands might be a little bit better than what Garrett Wilson's are, because we've seen him have quite a few drops. Not to put him down or anything, because I'm not. This is just critiquing him a little bit. But the speed there, all that, I think he's a good comp, and I've seen another good comp. And anyway, regardless, I love what he brings to the game. And I love his energy. I love his excitement. He gets me hyped. And all I'm doing is watching the damn game. So anyway, so Garrett Wilson, that's a hell of a stat line. I can't wait to see what else he does as the season progresses. Also, I think he's clutch too. He makes key catches. We just didn't pass the ball a lot in the second half or in the fourth quarter because our run game did what it does. Our formula, man, when we win games, is because we are closing games out in the fourth quarter, running the ball down their damn throats. We came right back to what makes us good, man. All right, so yeah, that's who I have for my unsung heroes. There's so many other players I could probably mention here because everyone made at least one awesome play, but I wanted to sing those guys' praises. Well, I'll give one more, and then I'll talk about my props and all that stuff. But Denzel Mims, I know his stat line isn't gorgeous, but it is so fun watching him play. Um, but yeah, the stat line's not great. It's 4 targets, 1 catch, 12 yards. That one catch is that catch that helped us extend that drive, was huge first down. The other one I mentioned earlier was a bad throw from Zach, one of them. The first one he had early on was a good throw from Zach. Mims just couldn't bring it down. So that's one. And I don't remember the fourth target that I'm missing in between those. But I was still pleased to see it. I love his blocking. We do need to have a big wide receiver out there. I hope they continue to work with him. I'm not going to engage in all the Elijah Moore foolishness and drama because I'm not here for that. This is a dub. This is a post game party because the Jets got a dub. So we're not talking about any of that today. I'll worry about Elijah Moore and his feelings and all that stuff later. I still think he's a piece to the puzzle, and I like what he can bring. But I like that Denzel Mims is getting his shot. I hope they all work over the break and work on their chemistry as a team, and we continue to grow. But that said, Jets won. I ain't worried about how he feels about it. All right. So lastly, here I'm gonna cover some of these props that I put out. I didn't hit very many of them because I tried to do these long parlays that I said I would stop doing and a bunch of teasers in the Panthers that I didn't mention because I don't want to mention teasers on here because I'm not awesome at them. I don't want y'all to think that this is my advice if I'm doing a long teaser. So anyway, aside from that teaser, the Jets covered and the Jets got the W. So the money line prop that I put in last week on Sunday night, that hit and it hit well. So that was awesome. Another one that I didn't mention, but I do want to talk about, those of you guys who do futures bets, did you hit that future bet on the Jets? Did you hit it? Because the Jets won 6 games. The line was at 5.5, over under. I took the over, hit that hit today. I have another one as well for 6.5 because I was so Jets happy in the off season. So I can't wait to hit on that one. Ideally, when we play the Pats after the bye and bring them another L because they need an L. They feeling themselves. They think they got our number. They don't have our number, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, Jets covered and got the money line. So that hit. Speaking of the Patriots, they did exactly what I said they would do, and they killed Sam Ellinger. Killed him. Killed him. I don't know why people were picking the Colts. I don't know why. You gotta have. I'm not saying the Colts couldn't have beaten them. It's just they needed a quarterback who's been around the book. Like if they wanted to beat them, they needed to put some Matt Ryan in that game. Just that one, and then you can go ahead and put Sam Ellinger in the rest of them games because Bill Belichick eats up young quarterbacks. He does. The only ones that don't beat him, or I won't say don't beat him, but the ones that have beaten him are great running quarterbacks, a la Justin Fields, a la Lamar Jackson. That's it. Um, anyway, and I know that the Patriots lost to the Packers. I wonder how that loss looks now when you think about it. And that was with that not Skyler, that Bailey Sharpie kid. Anyway, doesn't matter. Oh, and I do want to just say this. The Pats sacked that boy Sam Ellinger 9 times. 9. And he threw a pick. Not saying not saying anything about Zach here, but just keep that in mind. Obviously, Zach is way better than Sam Ellinger, and he was drafted higher and all that. I know. I just wanted to bring that up. Just wanted to bring it up. So anyway, so I hit that bet. Miami versus the Bears. Why was that game so damn close? The Bears almost won that game. The pros, the professional bettors, they knew what they were doing. I did not. I just did not think Miami would allow that game to be that close. Hell, if this was going to happen and I'm going to lose the bet, I'm going to lose my money on that. In that case, if I'm going to lose the spread on that because I just knew Miami was going to win, then the Bears should have effing won. Bears should have effing won if you're gonna do all that. But they won. I mean, Miami won 35-32, so hurt my monies. Screw them. Um, and then I took the Vikings to win over the Commanders, but they kept that game extremely close. And I think I missed out on the money on that. To be honest, I would have been so happy about the Jets. I looked at a few of them, but the teasers and all that. What's up, Queen? You see, I got 2 lives in the same day, right? I don't know if I'll do that again in the future, but I did do it. Um, but yeah, so that said, the Commanders game versus the Vikings. The Vikings and the Commanders it was extremely close, and I think I missed that one too, because the Vikings only won by 3, and I think the line was at 4.5 for the Commanders. So I think they covered, and I did not choose them to do so. Anyway, so those are all the props that I did. It was beautiful to see. Also, just as a side note that's unrelated to the gambling aspect, really happy for James Robinson getting that touchdown too. Um, it was just good for him, especially after what we had heard and all that good stuff. So James Robinson getting his feet wet, getting used to the team and all that, starting with a touchdown on a day where the Jaguars, did they win? I don't even know. I don't think they did though. Did they win? Let me check real quick. I think they might have won that one though. They won. They won 27-20. Vegas still. No, I'm gonna leave that alone. Sorry guys. Still haven't completely shaken this cough and all that foolishness yet, but trying. Anyway, all that being said, okay, the Jaguars still won, but the Jets are 6-3. One team is approaching the playoffs, the other team is not necessarily heading in that same direction. So I know James Robinson's feeling good. I know my Jets players are feeling good. Again, and just now I'm just kind of going off the riff here. But I love what Salah said in the interview, the post game interview, and just what he said in the post game in the locker room speech. We expected to win. Our boys expected to win. This is what they do. This is supposed to be the new expectation for this team. This is the culture for this team. And we're along for the ride. The New York Jets are not the same old Jets anymore. We're a team that goes out and beats teams like the Buffalo Bills now. So we got a whole nother half of the season to go. Jets are walking into a bye. Hopefully we see some AFC East teams get L's next week. The Bills play somebody because they already finished their bye a little earlier on. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think the Patriots, I don't even care. Point is, I hope whoever is not on a bye next week gets some L's and we can move up a little bit more in the standings, preferably the Bills. And as far as me and my schedule, I'm going to try to do a video probably on Friday, Saturday, similar grind there, and maybe have a guest so we can do some analysis on the season, talk about the Jets, talk about what we've liked, what we have disliked, what our expectations are, maybe do a little analysis of what the rest of the season is going to be. I think that would be kind of fun. I'm going to bring my peoples in, and it won't just be me speaking the entire time because I know y'all get tired of that, right? That said, thank you everybody that are in the chat. Thank you for everybody that's watching. I appreciate y'all grinding with me and watching these Jets videos. I can't help myself. I'm so damn excited. This is probably the best season I've seen since I know 2015 was, a great season for us, even though we didn't make the playoffs, but it feels different with a team that has hungry young players on it, because this shows the culture. This shows that things are changing. It was different when we had Ryan Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall. We got our own group of homegrown players. We got Jermaine Johnson. We got Sauce Gardner. We got Garrett Wilson. We got Brees Hall when he comes back next year. That's just in this last draft class. We'll see what happens with Elijah Moore. I still think he's a piece of the puzzle, but we also got Zach Wilson, who's going to continue to grow and get better. Anyway, Jets are winning. Jets, 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 Jets. Got a dub. Can't tell me nothing. Not a damn thing. Congratulations, Jets fans, on the victory Monday tomorrow. All that said, thanks for liking the video, subscribing, sharing the video, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all helping me on this grind as we keep going every day. Thanks again, Queen, for joining. And I think we out. Let's go, Jets.